Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is AS Unreal with GamersUnite.com, and today we are going to be showing you some Dauntless gameplay. Now, what I'm going to be doing is showing you guys the 4 different weapons in the game, showing you guys their combos, and then I'm going to be killing the first boss in the game that you're going to face, which is the Rogue Gnasher. So right now we're going to start up a solo hunt, and we're going to be going in with a sword. This is default weapon that the game starts you off with. However, you do have access to all 4 as soon as you start the game. Basically, you go into your loadout and you're able to change between the borrowed sword, the borrowed axe, borrowed hammer, and the borrowed chain blades. But for this video, we're only going to be talking about the sword. Now, as you'll see here, I'm going to be dropping in from this little carrier ship. It'll drop you down onto the map, and from there you need to find the behemoth that you're fighting. In this case, it's the Rogue Gnasher. And as soon as we land here, I can pull up a menu that will show me the different skills and combos that I can use with the sword. Now, before we even talk about that, let's talk about the interface a little bit here. I am playing on controller, and for some reason that's not popping up in the bottom left. Maybe if I do that. No. Okay. So I'll just explain it without that popping up. As you can see on the bottom left, all the way down there, it's a health potion, which would be up on the D-pad. To the right of that is a stamina potion, which would be right on the D-pad, and that would obviously give me more stamina, and the health potion would give me more health. To the right of that, it's a self-revival stone, so if I were to go down and none of my teammates could pick me up, I could use that to revive myself. There's no icon in... there we go. There's no icon in the game for that right now, so it's just kind of being replaced by this little refresh symbol. And that's left on the D-pad. And then as you can see, down on the D-pad throws a flare up in the air, just like that. Basically, when you're running around with 4 people on this map, they're going to be gathering, they're going to be doing all sorts of stuff, and when you find the behemoth and you throw up a flare, your team can see the flare. There's a little white flag on the map, as you can see if you look up there toward the northwest. You can see there's a little white flag on the map, which helps your team to easily identify what direction the boss is in so they can move in and begin the fight. Now, if I were to hold down on the D-pad, it would call in a ship ability for me, which in this case is a resource finder, but I'm not going to waste it on a rookie map. Just believe me, it will work. If we move on to the sword combos here, as you can see, the first one is the quad cross. We then have triple elements, repeating elements, and rising elements. Then on the right of that, we can X is a physical attack, Y is an elemental attack, and you can use the right bumper for elemental blast and overdrive, which is your special action. So just to start things off, we'll show you the quad cross right now, which is X 4 times. Pretty basic stuff. Then we can move on to triple elements. Is 1, 2, 3, Y, Y. Now keep in mind here, guys, when you're using the sword, if some of these combos aren't working for you, watch this. Ready? If I press X 3 times, you see that little shine at the end there, at the end of the third X? That means that you can start working on your Y abilities then. If I were to do like X, 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 Y, Y. See, it doesn't, sometimes it's very slow on the registering. So I would, if you're going to do the X, 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 Y, Y, wait for that shine and then press Y, Y. Otherwise, it'll get all messy and you might not be able to finish up your combos. Timing is very essential in this game. So sometimes it's better to just wait the extra half second to get that visual indication before you just start swinging and end up screwing yourself over a little bit. After that, we have repeating elements, and you'll be able to see that this also has a shine, which starts off Y, Y, and then you just keep tapping X, and you can see your stamina bar go down in the top left. As far as the top left of the interface goes, you have your health in green. The stamina is below that. There's a small number to the left, which is your danger meter. Basically, if you are in a team of 4 people fighting a hard monster and people aren't geared up the way that they should be, your danger level is going to start up higher. After that, when people go down and they need to be revived, or if they stay down for a long period of time, if you have one teammate that goes down and no one is able to revive him for a long period of time, the danger meter will start to increase pretty rapidly. Once it hits 100, you are no longer able to revive any of your teammates unless you have a self-revive talisman or you have a team revive talisman. That's the only way to do it. You either have to kill the behemoth or make the behemoth run away to another part of the map before you're able to reduce the danger level. Underneath that number, there's a small barrel-looking thing. That's your lantern, which is in your loadout, and we can talk about that in a different video, but for the sake of this one, we're just going to talk about the sword. And then those five blue squares, those will charge up as I fight, and that allows me to use my special ability, which I will show you guys in a little bit later on. Other than that, we still have YYY, which is Rising Elements. Bam, bam, bam. And hold forward at the beginning of the combo will trigger horizontal slash. That is for start abilities. And I don't see any start abilities. So that's probably something that they're going to be adding a little bit later. Keep in mind, this game is still in closed beta. So they've been doing a lot of work on this. Right now, let's go find the behemoth. That way you can... I want to show the entire fight. It's not going to take me long, because again, it is a starting behemoth, so it's not that difficult. But I'll show you guys the attack patterns and how to use these in a fight situation. Now you can see I see the behemoth. If this was a 4-man, I would throw up my flare right now. People would see that, hey, the boss is over here. Let's go toward this area. Start your fight. As you're fighting these guys, you'll notice that sometimes they get really hurt, and that's because I'm cutting off or breaking parts of their body, which are necessary in order to build armor and weapons once you return to town. So as you can see while I'm fighting this, up there in the top left, my blue bars are getting filled up. For the sake of this, I'm going to try to fill it up to 5 so that you can take note of the differences. Now watch this, ready? If I were to do Y, oh crap, okay, he's gonna hit me. If I were to do Y, and then do my X's, you can see that speed that it's traveling at when I do that. When I use my special ability, it will increase my attack speed significantly, and you will be able to really tell the difference there. So if you go back to that part of the video, and then watch when I'm doing it with my special ability, you will see how much faster it actually is. Another thing that's important too is dodging, which is B on a controller. It uses a pretty decent amount of stamina, but at the end of the day, you gotta move. You gotta move or you're gonna die. Go. Again, that's still just basic. This is about filled up enough, so I'm gonna show you guys right now the special ability. When I press right bumper, and it actually launches out a projectile. So let me get some distance from this guy here and see if I can hit it. It's you have to make sure that you're aiming. There you go right there. It sends out that projectile, and now they're draining pretty quickly. That's how fast it moves when you're using, when you have your special ability activated. It's significantly faster. I'm going to clean this boss up right here. I'm going to try to get a tail break so that you guys can see what that actually looks like. It's a bit harder in the solo hunts because he's always going to try to turn and face me. I might have to break his face. Cripple him first. There we go. And now let me work on the tail. See if I can cut that off. There you go. So as you can see, I hit him in the face, and that probably broke one of his teeth, which slowed him down quite a bit. I was able to come around back and grab the tail, and now we can probably just close this thing out. He's got to be close to dead. There's no health bars, but you can tell by the scars on his body that he's getting pretty close. Come here, buddy. Being very evasive this time. Yeah, that's going to hit me. There's a lot that goes into this, especially when it comes to combos. You got to make sure that you're not overcommitting, because on some of the bigger bosses, obviously this guy is not that bad, but on some of the bigger bosses, they will absolutely punish you if you overcommit. You need to make sure that you are timing everything perfectly, and if you end up getting caught in a big combo or you're trying to do a really big swing at some point, that will come back to bite you right on the ass, and you're going to take a lot of damage for trying to get greedy. Sometimes it's better to just go in, do some quick pokes, and get out of there really quick. The other thing I'm going to show you guys is the Aether Cores that you get at the end of this. I'm going to be showing this. There's going to be 4 different videos, one for sword, one for axe, one for hammer, one for chain blades. I'm going to be showing this at the end of all 4 of the videos, just in case somebody is not watching the entire series and they just want to learn about a specific weapon. So if you've seen this part already, feel free to skip over. If you haven't, feel free to watch. I'll show you guys what's going on. Basically, at the end of every fight, you get an Aether Core, and they can be common, uncommon, rare, or epic. Depending on what tier you get of Aether Core, you will have different materials inside related to that boss, which will help you create armor, weapons, do upgrades on that gear, and also to build lanterns. Monsters will give you Trace at the end, which I will show you in a minute here. It should be called, for this, it should be called Gnasher Trace because it's the Gnasher Behemoth. And the Trace is used to imbue your armor and weapons with that specific creature. So if I open all here, you can see I got 7 Gnasher Trace total and 1 Aether Glass. It's all common materials. They're nothing crazy here. But if I were to build Gnasher armor, I would need some of this Gnasher Trace. And basically, they're just using that as like an incentive to keep grinding out the same behemoth if you want to get their armor and weapons. You're going to have to do that anyway because you're going to have to break like 15 different parts of the body multiple times over and over and over and over and over to get the actual materials that you need. But the Trace is just like a little added bonus, just a little bit of, so you can't start crafting the whole full set without killing it a few times. It just kind of makes it more of a journey for you. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the sword video. Make sure to come back soon. There's going to be other videos posted up. And we're going to be covering the axe, the hammer, and the chain blades in addition to this. So if you need a tutorial on those, make sure that you look and check out and see if the other videos are posted up. And yeah, have a good day. Thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you soon. Take it easy.